Hi. So, today I want to talk about stop being a shit. Now, that's not the same as being shit at something, okay? So being shit at something is fine. It's actually great because it means you've got lots of growth ahead of you. I'm not talking about that. If you're bad at things, that's fine. You can get better at stuff, that's all good. I'm talking about being a shit. In fact, let's underline that. Okay? So, by the way, if you like my videos, please follow, comment, share, etc. Right? Anyway, so generally with this sort of realm, okay, when it comes, this is like a relationship thing, okay? You've got two things, right, that split this up. You've got things that are done to you and things that you do to others, right? We can, to some degree, control what people do to us a little bit, but not as much. And I'm not going to look at that today. So today, what I'm looking at is basically the what, okay, is what you do to others, okay? So, the what of being a shit, we can classify that, I think, really easily, right, as deliberate harm, okay? Right? So being a shit is when there is deliberate harm, okay? This also includes to yourself as well, by the way, right? And it's harm, so therefore it is bad, okay? Now, the word deliberate is really important, okay? This basically means that we are consciously aware, okay? Now, why should we care about this, okay? Why? Look at my amazing writing, okay? Why should we care about being a shit? Because lots of people like to justify this type of stuff, right? Especially with the whole, well, they did this to me, so I'm going to do this either back to them, or I'm going to do this to others, so on and so forth, right? And the thing is, right, at the end of the day, we are social creatures, okay? That means that we really rely on other people, okay? So if we're doing deliberate harm, okay, then this harms others, right? Now, there are going to be a lot of people that probably secretly don't say this out loud, but they'll be like, I don't care if I harm others, right? And a lot of people operate in that manner, but you should care because actually other people have such a fundamental impact on your life, okay? So harming others and just generally being a shit to other people is never good, okay? But what also happens as a huge why, right, is it harms yourself, okay? Now, you may think, well, how does harming other people harm myself? And the reason for that is if you're a shit, I would argue that if you're doing something that you know is wrong, you know it, okay? And even the people that go, oh no, I don't really know, they're lying a lot of the time because most people don't challenge it, right? If you are harming others or doing things that you know are bad and so on and so forth, right? And this includes, by the way, neglect. So, for example, neglect is not doing what you should be doing. So that's not even like a proper harmful thing. That's just not doing something you should be doing. Neglect, right? If you neglect relationships, if you neglect friends, if you neglect your children, obviously, right? Neglect is a form of harm, right? And it harms others. And you know you shouldn't be doing it. If you neglect yourself, if you neglect your health, if you neglect all manner of things, this all falls under the umbrella of harm, okay? And makes you a shit. Now, obviously, there are grades to this. Like, you know, some people are little shits and some people are big shits, right? But at the end of the day, you know it. You almost certainly know, okay? The reason this harms yourself is because with that conscious knowledge, you will carry that about yourself. We always worry about judgment, okay? But at the end of the day, Like, we worry about other people's judgment, but really we're worried about our own judgment, okay? And that then hits our mental health, okay? So going back to what I was saying earlier about, we have these two aspects of, we have people that treat us like shit, that negatively impacts our mental health. But then if we treat other people badly, even if we justify it that they deserve it, that's still going to sit on us, knowing that we're not a good person, okay? We know this, it's going to hit our mental health, okay? Another aspect to this as well is that we have very limited energy, time, resources. If we spend any of these limited resources visiting harm upon other people, we're not putting that energy into ourselves or our loved ones in a good way, fostering growth, creating connection, doing good things. You only really, with every second that passes by, you only have one decision to make about how you spend that time. So if you spend that time doing harmful things or neglecting things or not doing good things, the time's gone forever. You need to spend that time doing good things. And if you like this message, please, again, follow, share, comment, so on and so forth. You know the drill, okay? But I believe, honestly, that our mental health is massively affected by what people do to us, which we can only really control if we can remove those people, right? Don't kill them, right? Or our mental health is massively affected, and what we do. And we carry that. We carry the weight of all of our decisions forever. So we need to make sure that, we're doing good things. Even if people treat us badly, we should not echo that bad treatment out, either into them or like other people. And if you believe what I'm saying, and I do, right, that also means that if someone does something bad to you, and they're a shit, you don't need to do anything to them in revenge, because they're carrying their own punishment. Some people would call that karma, and I don't believe in karma. I actually believe that as soon as you do something that you know you shouldn't have done, you now carry the knowledge. That is going to eat away at you. If someone has done that to you, you don't need to do anything to them. They're already punishing themselves. They have to look in the mirror. They know who they are. And honestly, I know people that present a smiley face and all that sort of stuff, but their mental health is shocking because they're actually a shitty person. I have seen this so much, and I'm like, yeah. You know what you are, right? So, this is why. So even if you're inherently a very selfish person, you don't care about other people, care about yourself. Don't do bad things. Be a good person because it's good for you, okay? So let's look at a quick bit at how, okay? How, okay? So, first of all, we've got direct harm, okay? So I've already talked about this. Don't do it, okay? Wow, my writing is awful, okay? But basically, how? These are don't do's, by the way, not do's. Okay? Direct harm. So that means that, especially people that are in your friendship circle, if you gossip, if you stab them in the back, if you betray them, if you lie to them, with the view of gaining from them, exploiting them, so on and so forth, that's direct harm. But that also includes your enemies. Don't put energy into your enemies trying to destroy them. It's not going to go well for you. Even if people go, yeah, but look, they gained all of this, they're going to suffer from it. Even if you gain from attacking your enemies, okay, you still carry your own judgment. You know you're a piece of shit, okay? So don't do direct harm. But then there's another layer, isn't there? Right? What if you don't do the direct harm, but you support people that do? Okay? So, if you support people that do direct harm, you are a piece of shit. Yes, you're not as shitty as someone who does direct harm themselves, but you're still a piece of shit. Don't support people that do direct harm. Even if you go, well, I'm their friend, they've done good by me, but they're not doing good by other people, don't support them. Okay? Stop supporting them, right? And then there's the final aspect, right? Where we don't challenge, okay? So, say like you don't do the direct harm, you don't support them, right? But you also don't challenge them, right? This is also bad, okay? So that's another layer. If someone is doing something bad, if someone is fostering negativity within a community, you know, people are like gossiping and stuff like that about your friends or relationships or whatever and stuff like that, and you don't challenge it, you're a piece of shit. You might not be as big of a piece of shit as someone who supports it, or as big a piece of shit as someone who does it directly, but if you silently let harm go on, you are a piece of shit, okay? And this follows to my final point, okay? My final point is good, okay, is not nice, okay? Okay, really important, okay? Good is not nice. Nice people don't ever want to offend people, they don't want to upset anyone, but if people are being a shit, they need to be challenged. And most people, when they're challenged, don't think it's very nice. If you're a good person, you need to challenge. It doesn't mean you go around attacking people, because that's also direct harm. This is not an excuse to be a shit yourself, but just questioning and challenging someone who's being a shit, or supporting someone being a shit, or not challenging someone being a shit, like, hey, I think you should have said something to that person. Challenge the person who doesn't challenge. Being good is not nice, okay? But it is the correct thing to do. Challenge people, okay? You will feel better about yourself. If you see something you think is wrong, challenge it. Just ask a question. That is enough. Just ask questions. You don't need to attack. You don't need to cure the problem. But a lot of the time, people do a lot of this stuff because they think that no one cares, no one has challenged them, and everyone just gets away with it. But we don't get away with it, because we carry it in here. Don't carry it in here. Challenge, question, don't insult, don't attack, just ask questions, and try and make all of this better. You'll be less of a shit, you'll have less shits around you, and generally people might be less shitty to you, maybe, right? But yeah, stop being a shit. Again, if you like the video, follow, comment, share, you know the drill. Have a good day.